Welcome to The Exclusive. I'm your host, Sharon Tharp. I'm back here to recap episode 9 of The Traitors. We got another cliffhanger, but it was a fun episode, so I'm excited to talk about it. And I'm really excited to be joined by a challenge veteran. So she has a lot to say, I'm sure, about CT and Trishelle. And it's Jemmye Carroll. Jemmye, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I definitely have Trishelle and CT thoughts, but I'm also a huge Bravo girly. So I just have thoughts
Perfect.
and thoughts and thoughts on everything.
Perfect. Well, I'm curious to know, did you watch season 1 and how are you liking season 2?
I absolutely love season 1, but I love season 2 so much more. And it's the cast. Like, my one complaint with season 1 is I was like, unfortunately, I don't think the normies need to be here. I thought it needed to be all reality TV people. The Traitors gods heard us and they gave us an insanely good cast.
I agree. So catch me up real quick. I'm sure the challenge people know this already. And I've seen you've played with CT and Trishelle, but like when you saw that they were cast and obviously Bananas as well, what were your first thoughts? Were you like, okay, this will be good? Were you like, I don't know how they're going to do? Give me your like before the season thoughts.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it's just so nice to see challengers cast on other shows because it feels like everyone comes to our show, but we don't have the opportunity to like spread our rings on other networks and shows. So even I was even happy for Bananas, and I don't say that too often. As far as Trishelle, she's like one of my best friends in real life because we both live in New Orleans. So I was ecstatic for her. I knew like her poker past would take play for her. So I knew that she would do well. And I mean, CT, he's always going to do well no matter the game because he's so adaptable and charming. So I just knew, okay, those are 3 solid challengers to play Traitors. Not my first 3 picks, but I was very happy with the decisions.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good too. And I will be the first to admit, and I said this last week, like, I think I underestimated CT because I haven't watched the challenge probably just in a few seasons. But he's a lot smarter than I gave him credit for. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so where we left off, Kate was locked up in, I don't even know what that was, but she was locked up. And we had Phaedra go down. Phaedra chose her to recruit. She couldn't say no. What were your thoughts on this pick from Phaedra? Because I was torn. I was like, you know, obviously Kate had her back. They're very good friends. Was this the smart move to recruit Kate? What do you think?
I don't know if it was the smartest move strategically, but for me as a Bravo stan, I was so excited because Phaedra and Kate are 2 of my favorite reality TV girlies ever. So I'm like, oh, just to get to watch them murder people together, I'm here for it. Strategically, I think Phaedra should have picked someone else, but Phaedra's not playing the most strategic game. This was like the first real decision she's had to make on her own. She's been relying on the other Traitors. So I'm not surprised she went with her like gut feeling and her emotions over like strategic and logic.
Yeah, I think we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I kind of agree. I love them together. Like Kate is an icon as well. And so it's fun to see her play as a traitor because we also saw her in season 1. But yeah, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people were like, she should have, forced Peter to become a traitor, which would have been interesting. But yeah, I don't know strategically if that was the best move. So Kate obviously had to accept. And then they got to murder someone. And I also wasn't sure about this move. They were kind of wavering between Kevin and Trishelle. And obviously Trishelle had the shield, so that was the right move not to murder Trishelle. But like, what about Kevin? He seemed like yes, he's Peter's number 1 person, but I don't know. It didn't even miss him. I
honestly think Kate murdered Kevin because she doesn't like Kevin. And relatable. He's been annoying me all season. If I was a traitor, I'd be like, oh, I don't like the way you chew at breakfast. You're dead. And that's exactly how Kate's playing. So I appreciated it from a get rid of him. I'm tired of him being on my screen. But they should have taken a bigger hit. They should have honestly went after John. Because John has way more power in this game than I think everyone's realizing. He's kind of the voice of reason. You got to take the politician out. You can never succeed when a politician is playing.
Yeah, we later see he has this grand like speech, and even Sandra was like, "I'll wait to listen to you," and I was like, "Okay, you're right. John has a lot of influence here."
Yeah, and he's smart. He kind of like played the first few episodes quiet, and now he has his chess pieces together, and he's playing the game. So he's very dangerous.
Yeah, remind me, like, could they have gone after Peter? He didn't have a shield, right? So they
were worried he had the shield because they think he always has the shield. I still would have probably taken a shot at him too because why not? But yeah, they were too worried that he had the shield, but thank God they did not murder Trishelle, because then no one would have died.
Yeah, and we see at breakfast, Kate in general, like, I think she loves Phaedra, but she's like, girl, wait, you don't know what you're doing here? Like, I thought you would be the one leading me.
No,
What about
I wasn't expecting that for Kate to kind of low key start talking shit about Phaedra. But again, I'm here for it. Like, anytime Kate opens her mouth, I usually agree with her 97% of the time. So I agree. I would feel the same way if I was Kate, came in to Phaedra, and I'm like, you're not even going to lead the way. Like, you've been doing this for weeks now, and I have to make decisions. So yeah, again, I'm so excited to see their dynamic together.
Yeah, it's been fun. You could tell Kate, like, wants to back Phaedra up, but at the same time, she's like, girl, get it together. Like, Trishelle could have had a shield. Like, we need to, like, get it together. She basically said, get our shit together. So Trishelle obviously was not chosen, but when we're at breakfast, CT, Trishelle is still on Phaedra. CT still thinks it's Peter. They're talking. At this point, it's a numbers game, right? Which is interesting because I feel like the first season, they weren't really talking much about alliances and numbers, and I feel like the game is slowly going toward that way. Do you feel that?
You can't put a bunch of reality TV stars from like Survivor, Big Brother, and The Challenge in a house and not turn into an alliance in a numbers game. So I think that didn't happen season 1 because like normies were there and like
Yep.
they were still trying to figure it out. But no, like the strategic thing is always protect myself. And in order to protect myself, I need an alliance. So I'm curious how the next few seasons are going to play out, because not only are you looking for traitors, you're looking to build an alliance to make it to the end. So the game's like getting way more complicated because of the people playing the game.
I was going to say, I think the next few seasons, it's going to just evolve more and more, and it's going to be more about the strategy. And I think, we saw early on the Bravo people weren't even voting together, which is like bad strategically, but now they're starting to pick up, oh yes, we have to vote together because we have numbers. So that's interesting. Peter and Trishelle want to persuade Sandra and CT.
Yes.
I'm sort of like, I didn't think CT was persuadable, but he is. It sounds like he's open to things, which we later find out. What were your thoughts on like CT and, he is very much still against Peter and he's not sure about Phaedra. Like, give me your thoughts on CT's game right now.
Absolutely. I love the conversation that CT and Peter had after breakfast. Because CT, you could just tell he starts like fucking with Peter. He's like, let me shake him a little. Because he's like, yeah, I'm going to vote for you. And you see Peter like freaking out a little because he's like now having to play defense, which he has to do yet in the game. So I love that interaction. And I'm like, yes, CT, like pedal to the metal with Peter. But I also knew like CT is in the perfect place because he can go to both alliances and not really get caught. And CT is so good at playing the fence. I knew he was going to do this from the beginning. I was like, as soon as he gets in that house, he's going to play the fence. And that's exactly what he's doing. It's great for his game. Not a lot of people can play the fence effectively, but CT can. And I expect him to play the fence for the majority of the game.
Yeah, he's very much like, well, I don't like that you were working with traitors and you try to kind of deal with them. I'm curious, how do you think CT would have been if Phaedra recruited him as a traitor?
I wanted, as much as I wanted Kate, I also wanted CT just to see their dynamic. I think he would have been a great traitor. He's just like so much smarter than people realize. I think people always from the challenge world think like CT and Wes are the masterminds. CT's just as smart, if not smarter than them. He just plays it differently. So I think CT as a traitor would be epic. And I'm like, you know what? There's still some gameplay left. Maybe we'll see CT as a traitor at some point because I think he would make some really good decisions.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, and we don't know because it's left on a cliffhanger, but if Phaedra does go out here, or like even next round, at what point do they stop recruiting? I actually don't know the answer to that. But I'm curious because CT would be, I think, a good trade. It would be fun to see him as a traitor at least.
Yeah, I'd be very curious because again, CT likes to play the fence, ride the fence, dibble and dabble with everyone. So when he actually has to murder people, I could see him doing some cutthroat shit. Like I could honestly see him like murdering Trishelle, like that type of thing. So I'm like, give it to CT or Trishelle. I want to challenge her as a traitor to see what happens. Because again, just the cutthroat mentality is just within challenge people, and it just comes out, especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah. I was surprised, not surprised, but CT definitely had Trishelle's back, I think, this episode. What did you think about that? Because I know a couple episodes ago she wasn't thrilled with him for like not choosing her, but they seem to be on the same page at this point.
Yeah, like when Trishelle had her little hissy fit a few episodes ago about CT not choosing her, I kind of saw both sides. I'm like, okay, you both are from the challenge world, so you just automatically assume that he's going to protect you. You've come into this game and you've tried to create a new friendship that didn't exist. I mean, they haven't done a challenge together in 10 years. The last challenge they did together was Rivals 2 when Trishelle quit. So it's not like they have a huge challenge history together. But they have a common connection. Trishelle was very good friends with DM, CT and DM. So I think they wanted to come into the Traitors' house and like start on a clean slate. And CT kind of like messed it up on that episode when he did not save Trishelle when he saved John. Thank God Trishelle did not go home or she probably would have hated CT for the rest of her life.
That's so true. What did you, all right, we'll get into the mission a little bit. What did you think about it? I mean, these missions, you know, they're hit or miss. This one, it's a little like dragged out, but I guess it was somewhat interesting. I don't know. What did you think overall?
I like this mission because you kind of have to show your cards a little bit, or you don't have to, but people are just going to automatically sometimes do it, which Phaedra did. So this mission was good for me. I always love a good mission or challenge where people have to show their cards. As far as just like watching it, I was like, I don't really understand what they're doing. I don't really like, I would want to do it. Like, I like to watch missions that I want to do. This one, I would be like, I would be so annoyed if this was what we're doing today. But again, the showing of the cards definitely played a factor in this mission, which I found interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting because, you know, Alan framed it as point it to the person you think doesn't deserve a shield. But really, it was just about hitting as many targets and not losing money. So I don't know how much that worked.
Yeah, I definitely think like, and this happens sometimes in missions and challenges, production thinks they have something good. And then when the cast members actually do it, you just kind of look around and you're like, well, this was a dud. And I think that's what happened in production that day. They probably like were going back to the castle like, we could have thought of something better than this.
Yeah, because they got, I mean, so many people missed. And then, you know, CT, I guess, was probably the first one who started picking up on somewhat of a strategy. For a while, I wasn't really understanding what they meant by like moving up and down versus, you know, whatever. I think if you're going to aim, obviously aim for the more likely to hit anything, which is obviously what CT later brings up, why Phaedra went down to Trishelle, like in the corner. But it was hard to follow exactly what was going on. I don't know how you felt about it.
No, I agree. I was kind of like, what's happening here? And I didn't think that Phaedra and Sandra were being that suspicious.
I didn't catch that either.
Let's get this one. The top row feels impossible. So I didn't think that they were being as suspicious as everyone else did. But I also think it was just a good excuse to use as Phaedra being a traitor.
Yeah, I also thought that. I was like, is that a stretch for Trishelle to say like, that's why she did it? But then when CT laid it out later, I was like, okay, it is kind of weird to go for the one versus the three that are sort of together. But like, is that enough? I don't know. I kind of felt the same way. I was like,
yeah. And I think if I'd been anyone but Trishelle down there, it kind of would have just been like, whatever. But since it was Trishelle, it was just like red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like fine, but it wasn't like an amazing mission, I would say.
No, this is my least favorite mission thus far.
Really?
Yes.
Gosh. I mean, the last one was pretty fun with like the bugs and stuff. I love that stuff.
I love the last one, and I love that all the Bravo girlies quit because I called that. I was like, no way are any one of those finishing, and I was in fact right. But oh my god, they're entertaining.
For like $1,000, Jemmye. That's what they're working for. These women are rich.
Yeah, like literally Phaedra's like, you can't even buy a pair of shoes for that. Like, yeah, you think your Ray cares or MJ cares about $1,000, which is so funny too, to watch like reality stars that have money compete for money, because it's just like it's totally different than when you put a bunch of kids on the challenge, because they'll like literally kill each other for $1,000. Little different on Traitors with the Bravo.
Little different. They might want to look into if they're going to start getting big names. I mean, they already did, but like I'm sure it's just going to be bigger next season. They might want to think about raising the prize pot or something. I don't know.
I think that should be the first suggestion for season 3, or the only thing that they really need to change. I loved everything about this, but there needs to be more money on the table to get these people excited.
Right. Or like something in the mission where like the Traitors have to do something. I don't know. It's just like a little bit of a dud. Like the missions in general are kind of like,
I agree.
who cares?
They do not care about this money.
Yeah. So, after the mission, CT wins the shield, which, good for CT. I don't think he needed it, but he won. Before the round table, we have a lot of scrambling. This is when they really are like, okay, we need to come up with numbers here. Mm-hmm. John sort of, they sit down with Sandra and MJ, Kate, and they're like, you guys, I think Trishelle says, you guys are blindly loyal. And MJ's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, do you think they just kept that in, right? Because the cliffhanger later?
I mean, I honestly got the feeling that MJ could be swayed.
Okay, me too.
Obviously you're not going to get Sheree. But I really think that MJ is the one Bravo girl that is not full throttle going to vote, stick together. I don't know, the way that I don't think that she's strategic enough to like lie to Trishelle's face like that. I think she was being genuine, like, present me something and I'll see what it is and then I'll go from there. So I'm really torn. I genuinely do not know whose name is on that card.
I don't know either. I want to think MJ is smart enough to see the writing on the wall, but then at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
Also,
I don't know.
It was MJ, and I thought Phaedra was a traitor. And same for CT. This is what kind of pissed me off about CT's gameplay here.
Go off.
Yeah, okay, you know that Phaedra might be the traitor. Pretty sure you're certain of that. But, she's going to protect you. So why take a shot at her now? Take a shot at her later. Always take the shot. But now just doesn't make sense. Again, I would be playing a very selfish game. I wouldn't be thinking about all the faithfuls. I would be thinking about me, myself, and I. So I thought that CT, I get he's, playing the game with the fellow faithfuls. But it's bro, you need to worry about yourself. You're protected as long as Phaedra's a traitor. And then at the very end, sorry. Oh.
No worries.
It's that time of day where people are just harassing my dog by existence. But yeah, I just think that CT should have waited to take his shot at Phaedra. I was very annoyed with his vote from a strategic standpoint for himself. And also, I just like the Phaedra CT energy. That's her castle daddy. So I'm like, no, I want y'all to be together, in my little fake castle romance. Don't vote against each other. But I knew he would vote for her eventually. I knew that CT would vote for her if he had to. It's more one-sided, I think, on her half than it is his.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I didn't think he was going to turn at least this episode. So Trishelle, I think, eventually CT agrees, listen, okay, it's starting to make sense. Phaedra's sus. I'll turn on her. And I still didn't believe it. I was like, he's not going to do it.
Same. I thought he was just telling Trishelle what she wanted to hear so Trishelle would leave him alone. Because when you constantly have to have this conversation, sometimes you just tell someone what they want to hear so they leave you alone and then you're like, I'll deal with the consequences after the round table. So I was not convinced when he told Trishelle that. I was like, I did not believe him and I wasn't convinced.
No, I also want to talk about what you said, the metagame of it all, which actually finally came in on screen. I feel like we're slowly breaking down the wall a little bit when Peter was at the round table saying, guys, you have to go to the end with a traitor. They can't just end. They're not going to just end the game now. A traitor has to be at the end. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to know who it is and bringing them. I was surprised that they included that. And I hope they start doing that more so we can sort of see. Because like you said, CT, if he knows Phaedra's a traitor, keep her for now. You don't need to get rid of her right now.
No, it makes no sense. But again, I think they get so caught up in being a faithful and playing the game as a team of faithfuls. And it's So I just think my issue with CT saying Phaedra's name is it just wasn't a smart game move for him as a faithful. Yes, collectively as faithful, it makes sense. But you want to get some faithfuls out too. You don't want to take too many faithfuls to the end because that money pot, it's not that big. So I would want to take a traitor to the end, not as many faithfuls, and then take the money from the traitors, meaning I get more money, correct?
Right, and they're also, if you get Phaedra out, I would assume it's early enough that they would recruit again. I mean, I'm not sure, but you should assume that's a possibility, and then you lose information.
Yes, 100%. I think they're going to at least be one more recruitment. And Phaedra
goes
out,
out
you
here.
have no idea who that other traitor is. So you're going to possibly not know who true traitors are? It makes zero sense. I would have voted for Pete just for him to be gone.
Yeah,
I'm not putting money with Pete.
Are you surprised Trishelle hasn't really picked up on that either? Like trying to keep a traitor around?
I don't understand when Trishelle was so pro Phaedra getting Phaedra out last week. I was like, no, Trishelle, keep this in your pocket. Keep this in your pocket. Like, you're a poker player. You know you always keep one card. So, yeah, I just, again, think they're so caught up in their faithful game and doing it as a team. They're not thinking long term. They're not thinking, okay, when it's me there, I want to be standing by the least amount of people that I have to split the money with.
True.
Yeah. So that's my only complaint. I'm like, I would, again, though, some people don't play the game like I guess is like cutthroat as I do, but I would be like, yeah, I want all of you out. I don't care how much money's in this pot. I don't want to split it with any of you.
Right. Yeah, because you have to split it if you're there with 4 faithfuls. Well, I'm curious because you've obviously done the challenge. You've done press before. I don't know if you've seen, but like a lot of interviews are coming out from these players. And like, I think I saw Sheree say she knew that Phaedra was a traitor. Someone else said that they knew, Sandra knew Parvati. I'm just curious, like, do you think this is revisionist history? Like, are people just claiming that? Or do you think they really did know? And, like, I don't know. I don't know how to take this.
I've also kind of thought the same thing. I think Janelle and Tamara were the first two early on, a few episodes in. They did a podcast and said it. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know who I believe. I don't know who I don't believe. I kind of wish production was almost like, let's cut that talk. Like, it's like necessary for interviews almost, because it's just kind of just takes away from the like being in the game in the moment. Like, I wish they would do the interviews in the moment, not from now, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't like the fact that they're all like claiming they knew everything and this and that. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I believe you either. It's like, Sheree, I don't even know if you know what the show is. And I love Sheree. Like, I'm a Real Housewife of Atlanta girly, but I'm pretty sure Sheree, if you called her right now, was like, explain the game to me of Traitors. She'd be like, huh? What's that? I've never seen that. And it's like, Dave, you just played.
Yeah, imagine I don't know.
I've been like fantasizing that she wins.
She could. Who knows? I don't know what's going on right now.
That's what makes it so
good. Yeah. No, I agree. I think production either, and I hate to say this, I think they either need to crack down on these random podcast interviews because it's slowly giving stuff away, and also people are claiming different things, and or lean into it and like show us on the show or show us in the after show that they do, like it, because right now I think it's just a little bit like, I don't know. I don't love it.
No, I actually like what you're saying. If that's true, then provide like Sheree or Janelle or Tamara, whoever, with footage so they can like, here, for example, I see in this scene in this episode. And I would be okay with that. I would actually love that if production provided some like behind the scenes to be like, okay, here's proof Tamara and Janelle are not full of shit. They really thought or said this at some point. Because again, it just all gets kind of lost by the wayside, not knowing who to believe or what to believe.
Yeah, I sort of feel like I just have a feeling Sandra like might win. I don't know, just based on like social. I don't know. I'm just getting that vibe, and I could be totally wrong.
Sandra was going to win an episode or two ago. Like, I hadn't thought about that at all, and then the other day something just clicked, and I was like, "Oh, Sandra's about to clean house." And that'd be crazy to have like 2 back-to-back Survivor winners.
I mean, it's not great for the Survivor people who are going to play on season 3.
Oh, absolutely not. But no, I could see Sandra, and I don't know. I'm torn. I'm like, do I want a strategic player to win like Sandra, or do I want a housewife to win like Sheree, like, or MJ? I'm like, where, like, but I'm a gamer, so I want a gamer to win. I want the gamer.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Bravo's girlies for the content, I want like one of the gamers to pull this off.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. But
honestly, but Pete, now that Kevin's gone, anybody but Pete left at that table, I'd be okay with. I just like don't want the Bachelor bro to like outplay the Survivor and the challenge people. Like,
but so you don't think he goes out here? I'm so torn.
Genuinely do not know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like MJ could be persuaded. I could see MJ flipping the script and writing Phaedra's name down. I have zero confidence in MJ's loyalty, ability to play this game. Like, she's another one. She's like Sheree. I don't think she knows what's going on. I don't think she understands keeping Phaedra benefits her game long term. I think, again, she's like, I'm a faithful. Let's play with the faithful. And it's like, y'all are going to be splitting $3 at the end of this.
Well, okay, so let's talk about like the round table and how Phaedra you think handled the heat. Because John came in strong, laid out sort of the evidence. Parvin Dan called her out. He said she's non-committal. She flies under the radar. She came back at him, saying that he was colluding with Peter and all that stuff. How do you think she handled it? I felt like she did good, but like it didn't seem as strong as her past performances at the round table. I don't know. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I think when she was caught off guard all those times, she was like this. I think this one time she came in where she should have been a little prepared. It's like, Phaedra, today is your day in court. You're a lawyer. Come prepared. Like, give us attorney Phaedra Parks, please. I don't think she came as prepared. And I don't know if she's just like getting lazy in the game, if she's not realizing that, she will be voted out. Like her congeniality is not going to keep her. So I wish she would have come a little bit more prepared, because like she checked Dan, she checked Trishelle, and the checking wasn't checking how I wanted it to this episode at the round table. I mean, she read Peter to filth with that little Rose line. I've been waiting to hear that. I've been waiting to hear that. So yeah, I'm like, Phaedra, we expect a little more from like our clapback lawyer queen, especially when you're against the wall this badly at this time in the game.
Yeah. Now they could have cut stuff, right? But like, and I think Sheree hinted at it, but I think what she should have kind of went in on more, and maybe she did and we didn't see it, was that Peter could have been recruited. Maybe he just lied about the recruitment, and maybe have that linger in people's minds more. But yeah, I felt like it was not as strong as I would expect from her, and that was my worry. I was like, oh.
I completely agree. I wish she would have been like, I think Peter was recruited. I think he's lying about not being recruited. I think he's killing people close to him, so he looks like the victim when he's really the villain. We all watch his Bachelor season. He's a villain in real life. He definitely could be a villain on this show. He's the traitor. And I was just harp on that. Like, I think he's killing people close to him to look innocent. And like, again, I would have just continuously harped on Peter, accepted it. There's no way you would deny being a traitor. The show is called Traitors. He so badly wants to be a strategic gamer. Like, I would have just went in on him to convince, like, I wouldn't have stopped. It would have been like very annoying with how much I would have talked shit about Peter in that moment to save myself.
I would have loved to see that, Jemmye.
I would have gone down swinging. I was like, I would have had that man convinced he was the traitor by the time I got done with him.
Yeah, so he like brought up the Bergie thing. Like, why would I, miss my shot with Bergie? But like, again, like you said, you could just go back at him. Well, maybe you did that because you wanted to throw the scent off. Like, you can always say something, and maybe we didn't see it.
And it would make, and honestly, I think if given a really good argument, people would be like, wait, he could be a traitor. He's always taken care of, but the people around him aren't. And like, again, he would have to go because of those side conversations. If I'm walking in a room, Peter, you don't pay rent at this castle. This is not the Bachelor villa. Like, I'll walk into a room and sit my ass down if I want to. Like, those little side conversations would be enough for me to vote his ass out.
Wait, you're so right. Because on The Bachelor, they have those one-on-ones, and the girls try to like come and interrupt, and he's just like closing doors on people. Like,
yeah, what? Like, you do not pay rent here, sir. Like, Peter would piss me off. I know one thing though: if they didn't get him at that round table, I think Kate's gonna murder his ass. Like, if they send Phaedra home, I think Kate will murder Pete for the mere fact that she does not like him. Yeah. Like, I don't think she's thinking long term strategically. She's just like, let me get people out that I don't like.
That's not a bad idea. Like, if he doesn't go out here, maybe they do just sort of like, we got to get rid of him. I mean, unless he has a shield.
I am tired of this man. Gotta go.
You know what I didn't bring up that I thought was interesting? At breakfast, MJ called Kate out randomly. Why did they leave that in the show? I thought that was very weird.
And that's another reason I think MJ could be swayed. Because again, why are you just talking shit to like, the Bravo girlie that's in your alliance, essentially? Because in mind,
front of people.
Yeah. And Kate was like, what the hell, MJ? Like, I'm catching strays from MJ? Like, if she showed up this episode, it's like she walked in and was like, oh yeah, we're playing a game. I'm gonna play. But yeah, the MJ thing was bizarre, but that also makes me think that maybe she turned against Phaedra. So it's like, oh, look at her calling out Kate shit at the beginning of the episode, then she turns against Phaedra. It's making me nervous for my girl, Phaedra.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. She was like, something's amiss. You seem different. It's like, one, you don't say that in front of people because you guys are in an alliance together. But 2, I'm like, why did they keep that in the show? And I'm like, either MJ does get rid of Phaedra, or later on, maybe she's the one that figures out it's Kate. Who knows? But I thought that was very weird that they kept that. So
yeah, it just felt like, okay, production's giving me a little Easter egg. It's
right.
a little bit of foreshadowing. I don't know what they're foreshadowing at the moment. I don't know if it's against Phaedra or if it's going to be eventually against Kate. But like, again, MJ walked into breakfast and decided to start playing the game.
Yeah.
Tired of being in rooms, and I don't blame her. Hell,
I tried to like slow down the episode and look at like the board where MJ was writing. Obviously, Peter and Phaedra both start with P. You couldn't tell, but like, I'm so torn. Like, my immediate thought was like, oh, she might have turned and wrote Phaedra's name down.
I think it's Phaedra. I think it's Phaedra. I do. I don't know. My gut's just telling me that MJ, like, she switched it up. I don't know. I think it's Phaedra. Not going to be happy with MJ.
No.
Not going to get invited to BravoCon for turning against Phaedra, but play the game, girly. Maybe she wins it all. MJ and Sheree at the end win it all. I would die.
Can you imagine?
I would die.
Season 2 of Traitors, epic season of TV. It's blowing up, and the winners are, no offense, MJ and Sheree.
Oh, it would be hilarious.
Oh, wow. Let's play the scenario that Peter actually goes home. That's not good for Phaedra either, right? Because Peter goes up and he's like, I'm a faithful, you guys are dumb. Leaves. Yeah. Heat's still on Phaedra. What do you think happens then?
I don't know. And that's like what I want to happen. Obviously, I want Peter gone, so like Phaedra and Kate really have to strategically play. I don't know. Because if you take a shot at Trishelle, you still look guilty. If you take a shot at John, you look guilty. Maybe Phaedra just kills CT, like she's a scorned lover. And I think Kate would give her that kill. And if Phaedra stays and then kills CT, I'm not going to feel bad for CT because he did this to himself.
Honestly, that could happen. You might be onto something.
Anyone that knows Phaedra knows that Phaedra is petty when she feels betrayed. So I could 100% see her, if she survives this banishment, taking a shot at CT, because that's the one person at that table that she probably like. Honestly, I feel like at this point she cares more about CT's votes than Sheree's, and she's known Sheree for 20 years.
True. That's true.
So, if I was Phaedra, I would be a scorned lover and take a shot at him for that.
Jemmye, do you read into the social media of it all? Like, do you, like, someone had said, like, Phaedra doesn't follow Dan or Parv, which doesn't surprise me, but, like, I wonder, have CT and Phaedra been cool after the game? It's like I don't want to read into that stuff, but it's hard not to. I don't know.
I also noticed that Phaedra didn't follow Trishelle and that she liked a shady tweet about Trishelle.
Oh, well.
I told Trishelle, like, even though Trishelle and I are very good friends, I'm like, we are not talking Traitors until it's all over. Because I don't want to like slip up and ask something. I don't want her to slip and tell me something. Like, I want, like, this is like, game is so fun to me that I don't want to like risk anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, again, Phaedra's petty. I don't think that Phaedra likes Dan. I don't think that she likes Marty, and I don't think she likes Trishelle. I do think her and CT have a genuine friendship. Again, it's just, I hate to use a big brother word. It's like a showmance on the show in the castle. Yeah. But I think they have a genuine friendship. I actually was on the phone with CT the other day, and he brought up Phaedra. So I really think that friendship is genuine. And I'm excited to see, again, how it plays out, how they are at the reunion. And I would love to see CT and Phaedra together on The Amazing Race.
Oh, my God.
Like, imagine those two as partners. That would just be epic TV. And I think they could still somehow win it. Like, I would love that. Like, I am rooting for a CT Phaedra Amazing Race or some type of show that they can do together because I'm just here for them. I love it.
Oh my God, that's iconic. That would be iconic. Definitely into that. And you know what? Nothing against Phaedra because like I respect that she's not fake. And like if you don't like someone, you don't get along with them. You don't like them, even if you're on a show together. Like I can respect that.
You're not gonna like everyone you're on a show with. Like if you walk into a house and you're like, oh my God, these are 20 of my best friends. No, you don't need to be on reality TV. It's not summer camp. I want some of them to dislike each other. Even in this show, as much as I'm loving, the good energy, you still need beef. It's reality TV.
Right. We haven't talked too much about Trishelle's game. Like, give me the rundown of how you think Trishelle's playing. Because, like, I don't know if I love, like you said, going after Phaedra, if that's the smartest move. But overall, I think Trishelle is very smart. I think she's doing great. I don't know. How do you feel about Trishelle?
I love how, first and foremost, I want to give Trishelle her flowers for killing the missions and like being really excited to do the missions. The last time you saw Trishelle on a show was All Stars 1, and she did not compete in the challenge. She like quit, and then she barely tried in the elimination. Like Trishelle has a history in more recent years of quitting on challenges. So people don't realize Trishelle is a Fear Factor winner.
Yeah.
Trishelle has done very well in challenges in the past. Trishelle is a poker, like she brings so much to the table, but that's kind of got lost. So I'm glad that people are finally getting to be like, oh yeah, Trishelle's still a badass. So I love that part. I do not think it was smart game play for her to go against Phaedra. Again, I would have kept that in my pocket. And I don't like that she's aligned with Peter and his pals because I feel like they don't listen to her. In that one conversation, an episode or two ago, when they were all talking, her and the bros, and they basically just shut her up, I would have walked out and walked straight into that girl's alliance and been like, we're voting for Peter. If he doesn't want to hear me speak, he doesn't need to be here. So yeah, I don't love her alliance, but I love how she's playing minus the Phaedra card. I would have kept that one close to my heart and used it when it mattered.
That's fair. I thought it was interesting too that her and this was only mentioned briefly, and maybe it comes, that's why, maybe it's foreshadowing, but they also mentioned Sandra because of the mission. They were sus on her, which obviously is wrong, and Trishelle was like, oh, I'll keep that one to myself. Do you think that's going to come back up?
I do, and I think that Trishelle should tread lightly when it comes to Sandra.
You don't say Sandra's name.
I'm here for Sandra to get activated. I would love to see some Trishelle versus Sandra round table, like back and forthness, because I think they both like argue very differently and will make a lot of different points. It should be very entertaining, but I would tread lightly when it comes to Sandra. I'm like very intuitive about people. Like my intuition's like, and Sandra is one of those that I would not mess with. I would keep her close, but I would not cross her.
Yeah, Janelle learned that when she brought her name up.
Man, Janelle, I wanted her to do better, but she just played an insane game.
Yeah.
It's like, she hadn't played a game in a while. She was just so excited to play. It's like, girl, you need to sit down and breathe. You've been in this castle for 37 seconds.
Well, she was also another one where she said she knew that she said she knew they were both traitors. I think she definitely at least knew Dan was a traitor because like it was pretty obvious, but yeah, she should have just kept him around. Like, to me, it made no sense for her to go after him.
Yeah, I would have pulled Dan aside and been like, I know you, you know me, you know what I'm saying. Let's ride this one out to the end and see what happens.
Right. I didn't
You can
understand
have those side conversations. Like, you have the time and the ability to get some, like, private conversations off. If she didn't want to do on camera, she had, like, you can figure out a private conversation. It's just production can't babysit you 24/7. So if I were in her shoes, coming like for Big Brother, him coming from Big Brother, wanting the Big Brother to do well in this game, we would have had a little side deal.
Yeah. And Jemmye, you've been on TV a lot. So like Janelle also brought up the whole fact of like where the cameras are and who they're following. Would you be picking up on that stuff as well?
Oh, baby. It is so obvious. Like sometimes in a challenge house, like in this night of deliberation, because it's like, why is that camera over there on that person when they're sitting alone? Oh, because the people over there are talking about them. So yes, you can follow camera play. But again, some people just get so overwhelmed, so in the moment. You got to literally step back from the bubble to see all the puzzle pieces. And that's very hard to do when you're in a bubble. That, just it is what it is. But yeah, those cameras, they never lie. You can figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I always think that about Survivor too. I'm like, you got to be like looking at who's the camera pointed at. I don't know. Or where, for the immunity idol, where it's pointed, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the little conversations. Like I can just speak from the challenge and those little like deliberation conversations and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we're about to vote. Some shady shit's going on. Let my eyes just follow the cameras.
I'm interested for the reunion because like we were talking about, I think there's just a lot of stuff that we don't get to see. I think I would like some sort of edit or cut or after show or something where it was like we can see confessionals of people actually saying, oh, I know this person's a you know what I mean? Like there's just so much that they could be doing more of. But
maybe Peacock will listen because I like the little post episodes they're doing when you get to hear from the person that's dead. So that'd be a perfect time to throw in a bunch of clips to see who really knew this person was a traitor or who really knew this person was a fake. That's just extra content. It's like we're never going to be mad about extra content, especially from a show we're all obsessing over.
Right. And a show that's like evolving as it's played. Like I think every season's just going to get harder and harder or different at least.
And like you said, for example, if say Sandra pulls this win off, it's going to be hard for the next Survivor people.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like Big Brother people are going to have to come in and like not play the game that Dan and Janelle played.
Well, Big Brother people can just be like, listen, the Big Brother people haven't been doing well, so like, don't look at me. Like, I
When
suck
really
or
it's like,
whatever.
well, one of you's definitely, I don't know. I'm just so curious too of how production picks the traitors. Like, there's just so much behind the scenes that I would love to just sit in on, because picking the traitors in the beginning is such a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they did great with their choices.
I thought it was perfect. I thought Dan should have been a traitor. I don't think he played it well, but I liked the pick. And then Phaedra was the perfect traitor. I mean, great television, fun.
Whoever it was like, let's do Phaedra, they deserve a raise. I'm also convinced, we'll never know, I feel like Dan only signed his contract if he could be a traitor. I am 100% Dan was like, I'm only coming back to play this game if I could be a traitor. I think there was like some under the like rug deals for Dan to be a traitor. I don't think he would have come back unless he knew he was a traitor.
Yeah, I don't know how much pull they have, but like, I'm sure, money also talks. So I wonder.
Yeah, and I just think that certain reality TV stars do have like certain power to get what they want. I think Johnny Bananas also probably tried to do that. He was probably like, make me a traitor, or I'm not signing this contract. It's like, you're going to sign the contract, Johnny. You're fine.
Do you think we're going to see Johnny again? Because they said something about like maybe we would see him back.
When they tweeted about Johnny coming back to live for season 3, my eyes rolled out of my head. I'm like, let the dead rest. Don't want Johnny on season 3. I don't. I'm sorry. He had his opportunity. There are so many more better challengers that deserve a shot at the game. No, I do not need the resurrection of Johnny Bananas.
Yeah. So tell me, who from the challenge would you love to see?
Coral.
Oh, good one.
Veronica.
Great one. Yes.
And I would like to see The Miz come and play this game with Coral. I want to see Coral and Miz and Veronica. Those are my top 3. I have others. Like, I think Wes could be good at this game because, like, and it's like Johnny and CT did it. Now you got to let Wes play. But no, I want more challenge girlies. So Coral, Veronica, and The Miz are my top 3. Because Coral won't come back and do a challenge, which I don't blame her. But I think that, again, you said money talks, and this is a game that Coral would thrive at.
Yeah. That's so funny because I was on TikTok and like Real World New York, like a clip popped up of Mike and Coral literally last night. And I was like, damn, I missed these old like episodes.
Yeah.
And they are doing old school. They're not really, because, there's a lot of, and when I say old school, I mean really old school, but like, the Torys, the Jordans, the Devons, like.
I do not need any of those names. I will literally not watch season 3 if they cast those people. No,
but like, I don't know if they want them, because you're right. Like, they're doing older people.
And let's be real. Like, old challengers are just better TV. They're just better. Like, they're more genuine people. It's just more authentic OG challenge players than new challenge players. So yeah, there's so many OGs to choose from. Call them. Coral, pick up the phone. I know they're calling you, Coral. Pick up the phone.
Oh my gosh, make it happen. I want to see that. And The Miz, like, I mean, I know he has a whole career, but like, they had a boxer on, they had a politician.
Great show for him. And again, I don't think he would agree to do a lot of shows. This is one I genuinely think he would agree to do. And he's just great. I love him. Like, I think he's a great human. Like, and I think he'd be really fun on this show. So yeah, give me Coral and Miz to see them reunion. Like, because that's the only way we're going to get them back together. We're never going to get them on a challenge. So give me a Coral and Miz reunion and throw in Veronica in there. Because, I mean, she's just really
smart. Great TV.
Yeah.
Where do Coral and Mike stand? Let me know. What's the latest on them?
Are they friends? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they hang out, right?
Yeah, I doubt that Coral and Miz even talk. But I assume if they came into the Traitors' house, it would be like a day one understanding. And again, they're not dumb. They know what us fans want to see. We want to see Coral and Miz be Coral and Miz.
Yep. Oh my God, make it happen.
Yeah, I'm like manifesting the shit out of Coral and Veronica. And then if Miz wants to come, he's invited.
Okay. I don't know. I have a feeling we'll see Wes. I could be wrong, but
he claims that he like got the call for season 3 and turned it down. I do not believe him. I know that he has a new baby at home. That Amanda gave birth in September to a beautiful baby girl. But Amanda loves this show. Amanda knows Wes would do well on this show. And filming's so quick. And that's why they're able to get so many good names for Traitors. Is they film and wrap this shit up in like 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
I genuinely think Wes will probably be on season 3. I don't believe him when he says he turns down the call. Because again, I know how much him and Amanda love the show. And 2 weeks is not that long. to be away from, a baby. It's not like a 2 months. So I mean, I'm okay with Wes being on it. I think he would have been a better choice than Johnny, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Do you think Wes would be a better traitor or faithful?
I mean, if Wes was a faithful, he would still play like a traitor. So just give him a cloak. That man's not going to play faithful. So.
That's funny. Well, in terms of Bravo, because I know you're big on Bravo, like, who would you love to see? I know you said activated earlier, and I immediately thought of Lindsay Hubbard. But like, who from Bravo? Anyone stick out?
I mean, I don't know if you remember, there were rumors Lindsay was going to be on this season. So I was very excited for her. I mean, I love my housewives. I don't really need anyone from Vanderpump Rules. They've been like shoved down our throats enough. So we're going to put them on pause. I just keep bringing in the housewives, like Alexia from Real Housewives of Miami, Teresa Giudice. Like I want the dumb housewives. I think they make it fun. Like I would love maybe those two. They just stick out to me for some reason that like they would come in and you would think they're not playing the game, but they're actually playing it. So yeah, I would like to see more housewives. I don't really want any from Vanderpump Rules because again, pause them. But yeah, Lindsay. I would also like maybe to see Paige and Craig play a game together. Like if we're gonna bring in Larsa and Marcus, like if we're gonna bring in another Bravo couple, it has to be Paige and Craig because I think they would be hilarious playing a game together. Paige would kill because he had at breakfast, and I would love that. So yeah, no, I would mind a Paige and a Craig combo. Or just give me Alexia from Miami and Teresa from New Jersey, and let's just giggle at how ridiculous those two women are.
Okay, I like those picks.
Oh, speaking of people from House of Villains, I love New York on season 3 of Traitors.
Oh, duh.
I want her like whenever there's a show, I'm like, put her on it. Even if she doesn't fit the cast, put her on it. So New York, I would love to see her at the round table.
I mean, I have to assume they would call her. Like, she is just...
Yeah, I mean, she went home too early on Villains. Like, we die for her. Like, I would literally give a kidney for New York. So, please cast her.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, her and Coral playing the game together. They would even love each other or hate each other.
Oh, my gosh. And I'm sure we'll get another Bachelor person. I'm sure. I don't really
watch Bachelorette. Anymore, but... I'm tired of I want a Bachelorette.
Yes, let's do a Bachelorette. Switch it up.
Yes. I don't know which one I want because I'm like I've watched all of them, so like I know them, but I don't know, like Hannah just feels like the easy, boring answer. Like I don't really need her. So I don't know which Bachelorette I would want.
Yeah, maybe like Rachel Lindsay or something. I don't know.
Thank you. You answered that. And I was listening to one of her pods recently, even though she swore off TV, she was kind of hinting that like she would do Traitors.
Ah, okay.
So I would not be mad at Rachel Lindsay because again, she's so smart and so funny.
Yeah,
I could see another answer. That's the only answer because I don't want Hannah. No shade to Hannah, but Rachel Lindsay or nobody from The Bachelorette.
Yeah, and no shade to Nick Viall, but I don't need him on the show.
No,
he has a podcast. We hear him enough. It's fine.
No, I'm good on Nick. He's giving people relationship advice at the round table. He's like, well, I think you should do. No, he can stay. Rachel Lindsay. Okay. Final answer from the Bachelor franchise.
Good ones. And I've totally forgot to ask, but Jemmye, if you got the call, would you play Traitors?
I am dying to play Traitors. I do think I'm still like too new school, and I think they're probably going to go old school for the next few seasons, which is fine. I can patiently wait my time. But oh my god, like I want to play Traitors so badly.
The show's not going anywhere, so
no. So I'm like, let my sister Veronica go play. She can come home, tell me that give me all the good advice. I can patiently wait for season 6 or 7, but no, I would pick up the phone immediately, pack my bags, and move into that castle.
And would you want to be a traitor or faithful?
I would want to be a traitor because duh. I would be okay with being a faithful and then being recruited. Because I always think that's a fun game to play. You get the best of both worlds. But no, I want to murder somebody. I want to murder. And
you have more information. It's just...
Yeah. No, anyone that, like, again, this is why I'm so annoyed with Pete. The name of the game is Traitors. You had the opportunity to be a traitor. You don't deserve to win. You don't even deserve to be playing anymore. Kill him. Either now or next episode, Peter needs to die.
Yeah, there's a lot of like morality in this game, like how like traitors are bad people almost, but it's like, guys, you signed up for a show called The Traitors.
Also, you were a traitor on your Bachelor season. You were terrible. You were literally a villain on The Bachelor, and now you want to be like a good person on Traitors. Same with Ari. That's why I'm like, leave these Bachelor men at home. I'm done with y'all.
Yo, don't get me started on Ari.
Yeah. No, I saw he had said some stuff about Suri recently, and I was like, Jemmye, you're too old to start some Twitter beef. This is not 2010. Be chill. But I was like, I wanted to say some things to that man.
Yeah.
Oh, and who is the moral compass of first of all, it's a show called Traitors. And again, let's rewind and see what you did on a love show.
Yeah. For the people listening and don't know, Ari like picked one person, then changed his mind after the proposal. It was messy. It's not great.
Yeah, he had drama too. And if you don't watch The Bachelor, your mental health is probably great.
I quit a while ago.
No, these people are like ruining my Monday night. Like, I need a breather.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I feel like we covered a lot of things. Anything like just overall, any predictions? Like, do you have a winner pick?
I don't. And that's again why I love this game so much. I don't think anybody truly knows who's going to win this game because it's still anybody's game. And that's what makes it so fun. The twists and the turns, there's still so much game to play. It's not a lot, but there's still enough that it could go anywhere. But I genuinely, I'm worried that MJ turned on Phaedra. I want to be wrong, but oh man, if Pete gets another traitor out, I'm going to be so annoyed.
But no, no. I can't see Peter winning the game regardless. So
yeah, he's not who I want to win. Again, I want a gamer to win at this point. Or Kate to take it all. I'm such a Kate like stan and fan. If Kate somehow weasels it and wins all of this, like I would have to stan her even more if that's possible.
Kate, I also love Kate. But real quick, do you have any thoughts about like her coming in late in the game in terms of like fairness, or is it just like, well, it's a game, so it doesn't really matter? You just kind of
no, it's a game. I mean, I've seen it done on the challenge so many times, and it sucks when you're playing the game. But I don't think that they felt like that with Kate. I think they brought her in early enough that it didn't feel like a disadvantage. And I think that bringing in someone from like each season is a fun little twist, as long as it's Johnny on season 3.
I was just gonna say, I think that means we're getting Johnny next season.
And you know what? And whoever is cast on season 3, if you're listening to this, you have a real opportunity to do something funny. Do something fun. That's all I'm going to say. Because how funny would that be? And you know what? I know just the girls to do it. Veronica and Coral.
I mean.
Like, imagine if you had this whole kid for I would cry happy tears. Just because I love Johnny as a person, but it's fun to watch Johnny Bananas, the character, not win things.
Yeah, he's been on TV a lot. He's good at a lot of things, and sometimes it's nice to see him not win.
Yeah, no, I enjoy watching Johnny Bananas not win things.
Well, Jemmye, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I think this was a long time coming. For the listeners, I know you don't know, but Jemmye and I have been like literally Twitter friends for like 10, 15 years at this point. It's bizarre. But we always are kind of like on the same page about our takes, which I appreciate your tweets, Jemmye. They're always making me laugh.
Thank you for having me. Like you are like one of my favorite internet friends, and I just love everything that you do. Like I follow every like interview you do. Like I love everything you do. So thank you for having me on your platform. I love being able to chat Traitors with you.